the split screen of conservatives who just 12 days ago were slamming the rule of law, slamming the judge, the jury, and the verdict in Donald Trump's Manhattan trial. Some even claimed the conviction was the end of the Republicans we know it. But tonight, they seem to be singing from a completely different tune.
This is a new era in America, and I think it goes against the ilk of who we are as Americans and our faith in the criminal justice system. In the end, this jury of ordinary people from Delaware were not intimidated by that family, and they recognized that this was a clear-cut case and that clearly no one's above the law.
This is a very political exercise, and you have to say that it accomplished what it set out to accomplish.
But I would say this about Judge Noreika. I think she ran a very fair courtroom. She ran a very fair trial.
I guess we all need, to shop at Banana Republic from now on? Because that's what it feels like. Yeah, a Banana Republic.
For years, the Bidens have been able to escape any legal accountability for their sleazy, corrupt conduct. But today, their luck ran out. At least Hunter's did.
Now, is anyone surprised that Fox News is all for the justice system when it works to the tune of their specific political agenda? No. Doesn't mean, however, we ignore the blatant hypocrisy and pass it off as mere white noise, when this is still a network that to this day, sadly, is the most watched cable news network in America. Hell no. Because as Abby Phillip of CNN exemplifies, lay that shite bare for all to see. Sorry, Mum, for swearing. After a federal jury found Hunter Biden guilty on 3 federal charges in a case brought by special counsel David Weiss in Delaware, Republicans were rapid on the draw as they moved the goalposts from Biden is a master puppeteer pulling at the strings of the DOJ to bring down his political opponent, to Biden just wants his only living son to go to jail to act as a smokescreen for his criminal endeavors. Isn't it obvious?
Now, how is the verdict playing politically? I know there have been some statements flying about.
We are getting more and more reaction on this, Lester, as the hours and the minutes have passed since that verdict came down. Notably, of course, from former President Trump, Hunter Biden's father's political opponent in the November election here. And the Trump campaign is railing against what they see as essentially an investigation that did not go far enough, saying it is nothing more than a distraction from what they describe as the real crimes of the so-called, again, their words, Biden crime family here, saying that this all comes down to November 5th. That, of course, is Election Day.
Yeah, I mean, and Liam, the Trump campaign saying in a statement, we put this up on screen, this trial has been nothing more than a distraction from the real crimes of the Biden crime family. And Liam, people buy this stuff.
And this is never more perfectly portrayed than side-by-side tweets from Trump's favorite white supremacist, Stephen Miller.
The gun charges are a giant misdirection, an easy op for DOJ to sell to a pliant media that is all too willing to be duped. Don't be gaslit. This is all about protecting Joe Biden and only Joe Biden. You see, according to Stephen Miller, the DOJ is running election interference for Joe Biden by prosecuting Hunter Biden. That's why the DOJ did not charge Hunter with being an unregistered foreign agent or any crime connected with foreign corruption. Why? Because all of the evidence would lead back to Joe. DOJ is Joe's election racket, election protection racket.
But CNN's Abby Phillip, she went a step further and pointed out in her segment that Fox News hosts were singing a very different tune to the ballad of Poor Old Donny that they had blared from the rooftops mere weeks ago. Take a look.
The split screen of conservatives who just 12 days ago were slamming the rule of law, slamming the judge, the jury, and the verdict in Donald Trump's Manhattan trial. Some even claimed the conviction was the end of the Republicans we know it. But tonight, they seem to be singing from a completely different tune.
I guess we all need, to shop at Banana Republic from now on? Because that's what it feels like. Yeah, a Banana Republic.
For years, the Bidens have been able to escape any legal accountability for their sleazy, corrupt conduct. But today, their luck ran out. At least Hunter's did.
Power is all they love. And they're willing to do anything to cling to it. They're willing to destroy the rule of law. The Republic has been wounded by weak lawyers and talentless political bloodhounds.
It gave me a little boost of confidence in the American legal system, although they still have a lot of work to do to win me back.
I believe that there was a conscious collusion of allies that came together It's pretty obvious, with a private strategy to eliminate a common shared adversary. Hunter's going to jail so Joe doesn't have to. And when he comes out, he'll be rewarded for his loyalty, like a made man in a Biden crime family. This is a distraction from the influence peddling and the kickbacks.
Yes, these are two different trials under very different circumstances. Hunter Biden was federal. Trump's was not. The crimes and the evidence all completely different. But you can't claim the justice system is dead because of a single conviction while also praising it for another. And you can't claim President Biden is weaponizing the Justice Department to go after his enemies when that same department just convicted his own son. But in a world of MAGA, perhaps you can. Prominent conservatives are trading baseless conspiracies for another. Now they're claiming that Hunter Biden's trial was a sham to give cover to Biden. Charlie Kirk says the Democrats will use the conviction to claim that the system is fair. Vivek Ramaswamy, he calls it a smokescreen to deflect attention from Biden's other crimes. Republican Senator Tom Cotton says it's a way to insulate Joe Biden, who is guilty of corruption. Trump's campaign calls the case a distraction from the, quote, Biden crime family. Now remember, this is the same Biden that conservatives claim can't walk, can't talk, or think on his own. But just so we're clear, Biden has no power over a state-level prosecution. But the same federal government that he actually runs just prosecuted his own son. And the system we're supposed to believe is rigged? That just makes no sense.
And this exemplifies the difference between both parties. As articulated by AOC when asked about Hunter Biden's verdict, Democrats accept the decision made by a jury. They won't go after the judge's family or amplify some hoax about a jury's third cousin twice removed spilling the beans before the ketchup hits the wall. They accept it free from calling for the defunding of all institutions responsible, while simultaneously backing the blue.
What would Republicans point to as a two-tiered system of justice when the president's son was just convicted of a crime? I mean, if anything, this shows the difference that Democrats are willing to accept when our justice system works as functioned and as designed. We're not here contesting the results. We're not here trying to defund the FBI or the Department of Justice because we don't like the outcome of a given trial. We respect the judicial process.
Now, also, Jake, there's also been silence among top Democrats as well. Chuck Schumer, the Senate Majority Leader, has not yet weighed in on this, and neither has Hakeem Jeffries, the House Democratic Leader. So you're seeing a much different approach between the two parties over this issue, as Republicans, they're a bit divided about how they're responding so far.
Which brings me to the conclusion I could have drawn up 3 seconds into Judge Janine's boxed wine-infused rants. If every possible outcome can be argued as a point in your favor, whether it's charged, not charged, guilty, not guilty, maybe your position is full of shite and more. Sorry, Mom, for swearing. They just really get under my skin.
And that being said, I think it also creates an opening for Democrats to slip someone like Michelle Obama in here. The Biden family can say, hey, we're going to take care of our house, we're going to take care of our son, and then allow Michelle Obama to come in and run, because, again, Joe Biden can't win this election, and they know that, and they are desperate for another candidate.
I got to tell you, I am increasingly thinking that Joe Biden withdraws from this race by the time November 5th comes along. I am buying into what you're saying there, because I agree that the Democrats are desperate right now. They are very worried.
And they're so eager to be servile sycophants to Donald Trump that their political judgment is off, because that's not where the public is. And the public understands with the Hunter Biden verdict and the Donald Trump verdict, the rule of law is just working. And they're intervening, as you say, in a state case in order simply to placate Donald Trump.
Precisely. And what we're also seeing here is the stark contrast between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. And in President Biden, we have both, yes, a loving father who is there to be supportive of his son, but also a president who respects rule of law and is willing to accept the outcomes of a case, even if that outcome is not in favor with his family or his personal, outcomes. Whereas you have Donald Trump, who takes and weaponizes the seats of government, the seats of power, and embarks on a campaign of political intimidation in order to wrest and secure outcomes that personally benefit him. And that at the core is part of the stakes of our democracy that are before us today. Because once rule of law goes out the window, it is not something that is easy to get back. And it is very much a part of the decision that we have to make before us in the next few months.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.